Alright, hello guys, how's it going? In today's video, we are once again going to be taking a look at that upcoming snowstorm that's going to be associated with a very major storm in the central United States. This will also bring impacts to the eastern United States as well. Anyways, before we get into the video, be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather-related content. For today's comment of the day, I want to know, do you think this one will be a major snowstorm, or do you think it's going to be more of a minor snowstorm? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll be picking one of those for tomorrow's video. Alright, let's get straight into things, and opposite of yesterday, what we're going to do is we're going to start with our European model, and we're going to end with our GFS model. As you can see, we do have a snowstorm. This is our snowstorm. It's going to reform over the central United States eventually, though. And it's starting out west. You can see the Pacific coast of Canada is getting absolutely slammed by a 985 millibar low pressure center with very heavy snowfall. This is pretty typical for them, but we do have a lot of snowfall ongoing for areas of mountainous regions of California, Oregon, Washington, and that is actually quite heavy at this point. Now, by the time we move towards the very morning hours here of that's going to be Wednesday, November 10th, or tomorrow from the time I'm making this video, you can see that there is pretty significant snowfall still ongoing, but this storm is it's basically going through its transition at this point. It's as we head towards Wednesday afternoon on November 10th that we really see this one basically done with its transition. We can see it's redeveloping over the plains by this point. Plenty of snowfall ongoing for the more south central regions of Canada. We've talked about this. What it's basically going to do is, well, first off, the low temperatures Wednesday into Thursday, it is going to turn to a lot of snow down there for North Dakota, Minnesota, but we're also going to see that snowfall eventually wrap around back into the United States. It's going to be kind of like a 1-2 punch. That's what we're going to end up seeing. So by the time we reach about very early on Thursday morning, November 11th, like I said, the snowfall begins to mix in further south, especially for northern Minnesota, where I expect the most snowfall, but also that low pressure system is really lowered to a 993. And we can see that trough moving in behind it, kind of those blue U shapes. That is a trough. That means the temperatures are really cold in that region. We can see the snowfall for northern Canada. Again, it's going to begin to wrap around, and that's where we're going to get a lot of our snowfall as well, which is going to be super interesting. You can also kind of eyeball that low pressure system, or sorry, the cold front that is developing there for Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Missouri, Illinois, Iowa, all the way up through where our low pressure system is located. And that is going to bring really cold temperatures with it to the areas to the west of that precipitation. So this warm-up is going to be very short-lived. So enjoy it if you enjoy the more temperate temperatures. You're really going to enjoy that very short-lived warm-up. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to move on. And we're going to move on towards Thursday night at about 8 p.m. where we're going to begin to see that snowfall wrap around and the low pressure system continue to lower in pressure. So as you can see by this point, this is going to be approximately 8 p.m. Or maybe even 7 p.m. here on Thursday evening, November 11th, heading into November 12th. And as you can see, we see that snowfall wrapping around here for North Dakota and for South Dakota as well. This is going to be more of a light to moderate snowfall event for you guys. As you can see, we don't really get into the super dark blues, but you will see flakes with this one, which is super cool. Might even start to accumulate in some of those darker blue areas. Minnesota, northern Minnesota, we're still seeing that moderate snowfall, so that is why I expect you guys to see the maximum snowfall with this one. And even by the time we're reaching about Friday morning, November 12th, we could see that snowfall is moving further eastward, but it's continuing to wrap around. We're even seeing a lot of Minnesota get included in this wraparound snowfall, and still South Dakota and North Dakota, and even Iowa by this point, as well as Nebraska. We have a 998 millibar low pressure system, so it is beginning to weaken by this point, but still a strong storm at 998 for being this far inland and such. We do see that cold front has now reached the east coast, and that means cold temperatures will be on the way around the 12th or 13th for the eastern seaboard. So again, we're at the 9th right now. It's 43 degrees out in Virginia, so this warm-up is not going to last too long. Now, this is by the time we're reaching the very late hours of Friday, perhaps 11 p.m. or so here on November 12th. or so. We do see some snow showers or some mixed showers for a lot of the upper Midwest and the Ohio Valley as well as the Great Lakes. We do see some heavier precipitation for New England, but that's going to be coming to an end as well. We can see that trough has really set in by this point. Super interesting stuff. And by the time we're reaching Sunday morning, November 14th, we can see that trough is still located over the eastern United States, and we do have a lot of snow showers for the Ohio Valley, Great Lakes, northeastern United States as well, where we have a lot of lake effect getting involved as well by this point. Super, super interesting. Here's the total snowfall from that European model, and this is going to be Sunday morning, or yeah, through Sunday morning, November 14th. And if you're anywhere in the grays, it's going to be under 2 inches of snowfall, probably not accumulating with those warmer ground temperatures. But as we head into the blues, 2 to 6 inches of snowfall that will likely begin to accumulate at a certain point. You'll probably be a little bit under what these amounts are showing because it is going to struggle to stick at first. But as we move into the purples, you're looking at 6 to 10 inches of snowfall, and then the pinks 10 inches plus. We see about a foot of snowfall up there for northern Minnesota and northern North Dakota. You're getting that first initial snowfall with the low temperatures as it switches to snowfall, and then eventually that wraparound snowfall as well. I would expect if it says 12 for you, you're probably more like 8 to 10 inches of snowfall likely after the melting is considered and everything is said and done. Now, what we're going to do here is move on, take a look at the GFS model quickly, where it has 2 snowstorms actually, and we'll take a look at that total snowfall in that one as well. It looks a bit different from the European model for sure. All right, and we're just going to skip right into things here on our GFS model. This is Wednesday evening, approximately maybe 11 p.m. We can see that low pressure system developing. We're seeing that snowfall mix in for Minnesota by this point, similarly to that European model. But by the time we're reaching Thursday afternoon, November 11th, you can see that wraparound is just not as potent as it was on the European model, and I think that's why we're seeing a lot less of a less potent snowstorm here on the GFS. And yesterday it was the opposite. The GFS had a much stronger snowstorm. The European model had a much more weaker snowstorm similar to this. So they've kind of just changed their minds and switched places at this point. So it's going to be difficult to see which one's going to be correct because of how much disagreement we're seeing at this point. The interesting thing is that by the time we reach Friday afternoon, it's going to be November 12th. We do see widespread snow showers for the upper Midwest as well as portions of the Great Lakes and the Ohio Valley. This is where things get very different, though. We're reaching about Saturday afternoon. It's going to be November 13th. Not afternoon. I would say closer to the evening hour, 7 or 8 p.m. here, actually. We begin to see a clipper actually develop here. Heavy snowfall for North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota, but this one is going to move quickly, so it's not going to accumulate very much. It will be heavy snowfall, but it's going to be much, much, much more short-lived. And by the time we're reaching Sunday morning, you can see this one dives down to Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin. Take this with a grain of salt because it's the only model showing this, by the way. But by the time we reach Sunday afternoon, you can see this one reaches the Ohio Valley, bringing heavy snowfall to Michigan, Indiana, Ohio. Very interesting stuff. And by the time we're reaching very early on Monday morning, perhaps 4 a.m. or so, we can see that there is some moderate snowfall ongoing for areas like Pennsylvania, New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, and even Maine. So that would be a very interesting snowstorm. Not unheard of for this time of year, but super interesting to say the least. And by the time we are taking a look at that total snowfall on this model, you can see it has plentiful amounts of it for pretty much all of the northern third of the United States, I would say. At least, again, the blues are going to be 2 to 6, purples are 6 to 10, pinks are going to be your 10-inch plus amount, so we see plenty of that for the Dakotas. Also portions of Pennsylvania and New York where that lake effect snow will be possible, like I said. Even upstate New York as well getting involved. They're up there in the Adirondacks with probably a foot plus, and we even see some of those 10-inch amounts being picked up for the mountainous regions of Vermont and New Hampshire, which is also super interesting to say the least. Anyway, for today's confidence tab, we're at a 4 out of 6 still. There is some things we're more confident about, some things we're less confident about, but right now we're at about a 60% confidence, I would say just above 50% because of the disagreement on the models, but it isn't too far out, I will say that. For today's comment of the day, I asked you guys, what do you think is the maximum amount of snowfall we see anywhere with this snowstorm accumulating? And Winter Queen Weather said, if recent model guidance continues, I believe max snowfall should be around 10 to 12 inches, locally higher for some regions of northern Minnesota thanks to the wraparound element. And I certainly agree. You saw those models were calling for more like 12 to 14. And like I said, you can expect more like 9 to 10 or maybe more inches of snowfall, depending on how much those models are calling for, with the warm ground temperatures we have compared to what it would be like in, let's say, January or February. That's also something to take into consideration. So, good comment of the day there. For today's patron highlight of the day, I want to thank you guys for supporting the channel, but especially our platinum patrons: Bill Crates, James Wade, Dovey Nagel, Lerla Pan, Mandy Birchfield, Patrick Strickland as well. But I'd also like to thank our diamond patrons: Bill Roberts, Marcus Connolly, Noah Harley, Michael Codalessa, Catbite, Charleston, Cindy Klein, Alan Goodmaben, Bill Dallas, Gary, John Khaleesi, Dwight Phelan, Stephen Crenenthal, and Thomas D. Barr as well. If you'd like to be a part of this very awesome patron entry of the day, you can do so by joining our very amazing Patreon page in the description and in the pinned comments down below. I would also like to thank our channel members Catbite, Stephen Fan, and Jeremy Cox as well. That one will be located next to the subscribe button down below if you are interested in joining. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to smash that like button, leave a comment down below, and subscribe for more weather-related content. I'll see you guys in the next video.